interception. Guido Rosso.
What a remarkable drive, man. That's an All-American drive right here.
It's not exactly unwarranted. Like, when you have a guy that's that electric.
The legend himself, the GOAT, Dre Crowell.
Where my warm bottle movement at?
That kills your argument right there. Anything can happen. This game is not over.
What's good, Relocation Football League fans? I know we just had a podcast yesterday, but we're right back. Of course, we already knew Madden 22 was going to be dropping and revealing it, initial stuff that they wanted to reveal to us today. And honestly, like we were talking about, we kind of weren't expecting a beta today. I mean, I think, Rob, you still were, and most guys thought they was going to get one. And we actually ended up getting one today, so we got a lot to talk about. And what we're going to do is just pretty much sit at the round table and just discuss on, what areas, that they talked about and what we've seen from it so far. So first starting off, if you haven't seen the trailer already, I'm just thought about this. If I was to play this right now, would that get a copyright? It might, but it don't matter. It don't matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the Madden 22 trailer for you guys. And of course, we're going to get into some stuff with that. So go ahead, play that right now.
See a lot of teams trying to restart the clock with their quarterback. What happens if they are confident? Who's most likely to return to the Super Bowl?
Oh no.
Seconds, 6 seconds. He caught it! Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so, when we were speculating who was going to be on the cover, of course, for the most part, once we saw those GOATs, we kind of knew, it was going to be Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, which it ultimately ended up being for the MVP edition. And I'm just me thinking, because I don't know if it's just me just not knowing this, but does that mean that that's actual the cover, or is it just the MVP cover?
No, I think that's going to be the cover
of all of them. Okay, I thought they had different covers or something for certain editions, but I guess not. But yeah, so that's of course been confirmed. That's been going around for like a few weeks now. Especially Eric Rayweather. I remember hearing him talk about it, saying that he got the news on that. So pretty apparent that they were going to be on the cover. But you saw the things out from that trailer. I'm going to ask you guys, like, what stood out from that trailer from you guys, for you when you first saw that, before we get into the gist of what we want to get into here.
Rob, you want to go first, or should I?
Yeah, it's cool. Man, when I saw it, I was, I like Madden trailers, man. I'm not one of these guys out here who's just a trailer snob. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of guys, guys who don't even have computers, don't even know how to do a cut and splice on an edit line. They want to say, "Oh man, I can't stand that, man. Yeah, that's terrible, man." I'm not that kind of guy, man. You know what I mean? Like when I see trailers, I get hype. Right? Mm-hmm. I'm sometimes I don't listen to the music. I turn it down and just watch it. watch it again, then I turn the music on, and then I get into it. I had no issues with it. I thought it looked cool. As always, I like all the trailers, man. I mean, what it's a trailer. You know what I'm saying?
One thing I've
That's
noticed
why
that guys have been getting kind of caught up on too is like, of course we already know the past couple of years with Madden, it has been not too much of improvements. And this is the year where they promised us something here. And, I'm already seeing guys writing off the game. Of course, it's understandable. People are entitled, of course, to have their opinion based off of what happened in the past and everything. But we kind of felt that this year was going to be different, with Madden, especially with all the heat from the community they got, especially with franchise. That's going to be one talking point from the beta that we're going to talk about here and everything else. But, just a lot of guys, just already, just from looking at the trailer. First of all, when watching the trailer, how much can you change up a graphic? How much can you change up the way a player looks? It's football. Guys are going to look the same pads, muscles. There's nothing much you can change graphically, and guys can always agree. One of the main points about Madden, guys want to always say is like, oh, the graphics are good, but the game and everything else isn't. So nobody should be even complaining about what the graphics look like and that it looks the same, because it should look the same. It's already up to par, and of course we know it's going to get better over time, but like it's already there. And so when you look at the trailer and you just already say, oh, it's the same game. Oh, I'm seeing the same animations or stuff like that. The animation part, maybe you can get it, but that's why I encourage people, like, before you even go and say anything about the game, like, test out the beta if you can get a code. I mean, it's free. You don't got to pay for it. Ain't nobody telling you go out here and pay for Madden.
Man. Just
like go try it out before you even give an opinion or say anything. We just had something in the Discord guy talking about that, but just doesn't make any sense. But
I see guys talking about the poster and everything. I'm gonna let you talk in a second, Bill. But like, man, guys are like, oh, the poster could have been better. And I'm like, well, you don't stick the poster inside the game. You know what I mean? Like, who cares about but I don't know, honestly, when I saw the poster, man, like I see two legends who had and I'm not gonna lie, it looked like kind of a great day for whoever was filming, a great day for EA behind the scenes. Like, those guys look like they were comfortable. They look like they approved whatever it is that they saw that EA or whoever it was, behind the scenes, whatever they were doing, bro. Like, so when I see a basic cover like that, to me, that's like legendary. That's legendary, man. To see a real shot of Mahomes and Brady on a cover, sitting down, chillaxing. You know what I'm saying? Like chilling, both have rings and all that stuff. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
yeah, it doesn't have to be extravagant, and that's the whole reason for the GOAT. Anyway, like a GOAT doesn't have to do much. You know who a GOAT is. You know that Tom Brady and Mahomes is a GOAT. They don't have to show off for you guys on the cover. They just sit down, chill, look at you. Hey, buy the game because we said so. You know what I'm saying? But Bill, what you want to say?
First, like, to sort of add to what you were saying before, Smitty, with people already judging the game before they even played it. Like, nobody takes the guy who stands outside of the club and complains about the music seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no place for it. It makes zero sense. If you look at the trailer and that's all you see, yep, graphics are going to look the same. Like Smitty said, this isn't 2005 and 6 anymore, where every year there's such a jump in technological advancements, because we are so far along in figuring out how we can work with these graphics that they've already pretty much maxed themselves out. Early in the 2000s, when every year the game would look completely different, that was because we were still learning. The internet was only like 20 years old at that point. It was a whole different time.
Correct.
So yeah, the graphics aren't going to look that much different. The graphics don't look much different in any game you play, especially one that's recurring every single year. But the feel of the game and the extras in the game are what you're looking for, and I think that based off of the trailer itself, I just see that I take it as a positive that they went ahead and their opening monologue for Madden 22 to the fans was, even if it didn't seem like it or people didn't read it, we heard you, and we're going to make this entire first trailer about showing that we are serious about trying to fix what we have. And that's what they're doing. It's not going to come overnight, but it's going to get there. And I think this is a really good first step for the series. and I shouldn't say first step because obviously they were in a higher place, in my opinion, back in the day. But I feel like now at this point, there is a lot more extra stuff that they still have to work around from what we've heard about how it is to change and fix things in this game with how it's set up. And the little things are going to add up eventually, but at least they're giving us the time of day. 3 years ago, we never even get a trending hashtag on Twitter. We don't get the president of the company or whatever, whoever the guy was, Sean Grady, coming out to say, we hear you and we're trying to fix it. We don't get that 3 or 4 years ago. So I just think that when people are expecting the game to be A+ and perfect every way they would possibly want, they just got to be more realistic with it. Are the changes astronomical yet? No. But the wheel has started to turn in that direction, and that's what we were really trying to get to. Yeah. So that's my first take on it.
Yeah, Bill, you said the changes astronomical, man. I'm not gonna lie. From going from last year, what we had to what we have now, the changes are astronomical.
So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into, first of all, this is what they have in store for us in the future so they can give more details. So the first thing, once again, putting it first out there that they want to show us that they're working on franchise first here. That's going to be the first topic that they're going to be talking about a week from now on the 21st of this month. So make sure you guys tune in for that, especially the franchise guys. Most guys who follow this channel and everything, you already know we're a franchise league. You guys, mostly all of you should be franchise heads. So that's definitely a must-see there. If you have the beta, you already know and have been playing, the franchise definitely has had some improvements, and you see the dynamic. They will go through this, but let's go ahead and start with the franchise. So let's first start with you, Rob, since you were talking. What stood out to you most in the franchise from playing the beta?
It's immersive now, man. Like I joined the RFL because I wanted to compete with other coaches who are like me, like-minded guys who like to control Madden and want to put together schemes and playbooks and stuff. And we don't have the customs yet. I know it's coming though. You know, I know it's coming, but like the fact that when I loaded into this game, bro, and first, Smitty, we were on the phone and we were looking at the settings, right? And I was just getting super geeked about the settings because the settings let me know what we can do with this game, right? Like where it's gonna go. So I'm seeing things, in the settings, the relocation settings and the all the regular ability stuff and everything. But I start seeing like staff talent cost modifiers and progressive fatigue. You know what I mean? And practice injury. Wait a second. And I had to sit back for a moment, man. I had to sit back like Mahomes and Brady on the cover. You know what I'm saying? Goated. You know what I'm saying? Goated. What? Just those three things alone are astronomical to what we had last year, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I'm not going to give everything at once, man. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of me, because I know I get a little overboard. But, like, bro, when I loaded into the game, the first thing I'm going to is franchise. So I go to franchise. I'm loading up. You already know I already relocated the Cougars. Cougars relocated. 9th round, baby. So I go in there, and I gotta go to what, Bill? What I gotta go to first, Bill? What I gotta go to, Bill?
For relocation?
Yeah, for franchise mode. I gotta go to weekly training, right?
Yeah,
I gotta load up the weekly training, Bill. You know Bill, right? Bill, he with me. So I load up weekly training, right? Mm-hmm. Bro, what do I see in weekly training?
What you see?
I see new game plan stuff that can be catered around players. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing scheming stuff, bro. Look, I know I got Gino. I see QB scrambling, contain QBs scrambling QBs.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, it's over. It's over.
For us, that is huge.
What?
Yeah.
I can now force my defense to contain against these scrambling QBs who shouldn't be doing what they're doing, Morris Justice, who shouldn't be doing what they're doing. I can now do that.
Bell for Morris Justice.
I can now do that now with my defense that's supposed to be perennial and not get ran all over, Matt Jones, right? I can now do that with my team. Okay, I'm gonna let Bill talk. I got a lot for y'all today, man. I got a lot for y'all.
I just thought, when I first went into the franchise, it was the first time, and I would say 6 or 7 years, where I honestly wasn't sure of what I was looking at. And I mean that in a good way, because if you played franchise for the last half a decade to a decade, everything has pretty much been the exact same. You can load into it the first day and you know exactly where everything is. You don't have to second guess what you're doing. It's just a new game with a fresh layout design, and that's it. And for the most part, there are a lot of similarities, but when you first load in, it just looks different. There's more, like, now instead of this training just being this one little random thing, it's it's okay. Wow, there's a whole menu here. Okay, there's multiple pages I have to look through. Okay, this is changed with how the training works. Oh wow, the training doesn't even get done the same way. They changed how it does. Oh my gosh, there's injuries involved in this. Like, there's so many things now that are gonna have to be considered every single week when it comes to game planning for your opponent. That, I mean, you can't not like it. Unless you're just a hater, which, I mean, we all know there's plenty of those. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy. And it goes to show as well that these guys aren't even done putting stuff in yet. Mm-hmm. They plan on putting more stuff in throughout the entire year, which I think is huge. Like, some people don't like that aspect. To me, I just feel like it's better than what other games can do. Some games don't do that at all.
Cam Perkins in the chat, man, for the 2 back-to-back $9.99 donations.
Oh, geez.
Gang.
Get that Reload Gang in the chat. But go ahead, bro.
No, and then that's pretty much wraps up what I'm trying to say. Like the training aspect, like, this is gonna change the way this league gets played, mm-hmm. and it's only gonna get better from here. They've made comments in the Gridiron notes here that say.
That's what I was supposed to load up. Okay, let me.
I have it up right here. I just don't have. You want me to send you the link to it or something, or do you have it already?
Let me see if there's a. Okay,
hey guys,
so this is from yesterday.
They literally got, like, guys. This is the magnitude, right? You can see each player on your team and on the other opponent's team. You can see the health of a player, and if he's at the peak of his game, healthy wise, during the season, or if he's low on healthy wise during the season. That right there in itself, and I'm not going to go
just
too long.
From the chat, I see the one dude, Mac Anthony, saying this stuff should have been in the game. Look, I'm not going to disagree with you there. This stuff should have definitely been some stuff in the game. But what the issue is, what causes problems in the future, is if they are starting to put it in there, there's no point of arguing about what should have been in the game or not. If they're taking that step, that's all that matters right now. It made sense, of course, to get frustrated with these guys at that time. But if this game is on the path and they continue to do this and we continue to push them that way, that doesn't matter. That's the past. That's what matters right now is now. And so if they're making these type of changes at the moment, then, I agree. Like I said, I'm not going to disagree with you that this stuff should have been in the game years ago. But now that it's here, like, it's not. Yeah, go ahead.
Man, like, I'm really, like, this is like the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th time I think that we've already had, like, somebody sort of come at us, and I'm not going to try to, like, single out Mac here because I don't want to disagree with him, but I think everybody here has got to realize that just because somebody is mildly impressed or not completely flabbergasted with the game doesn't mean that they think everything is hunky-dory. Nobody thinks that. But we have sat here for 5 years and watched nothing at all change. We're finally seeing change. Can't we just accept that and be happy a little bit? I mean, if you're not even happy with that, why are you playing the game? Why are you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you spending time, like, getting yourself flustered over it? Like, I just don't understand the logic at all, man. Like,
I don't log into any games that I don't like to play, bro.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
You won't go see me fire up the Sega, man. I'm not firing up the Sega, guys.
Just calm down.
But this is what I'm saying also. This is another thing. Like you were saying, just even keying on what you guys are saying. There's no reason, if you really did not like the game or really didn't have interest in playing the game if it was good again, there's no point of you even giving an opinion on it sucking. Because that means you want it to be good, but you're just sitting there saying, it's just trash right now. It's going to be trash. But you low-key want these guys to make the game right because you know that once it gets right, you're going to hop on it. So I really don't understand that when it gets to this point that they got things moving in the right direction, why people would still just be upset and just bash them. Oh, this is trash, because what that can do, like I was saying, can actually cause a problem from making them be like, well, there's nothing we could do to improve this. These guys still aren't satisfied. Let's just keep doing what we're doing, and then they'll move away from franchise. So and we did put the pressure on them. We did our job as a community. We put the pressure on these dudes and told them, hey, we need franchise to be improved. We need all this. I know we've been talking for years, but it takes a long time. And you also got to understand that while we were doing that, most of the guys who were talking trash about the game now were the same people who were still buying and playing it. So that's why their numbers kept going up doing the same thing that they did. We finally made it more vocal where you guys were putting it out there, where we were putting it out there so that they can know that, okay, franchise is really important. But let's be honest, these guys, they knew we were talking about it, but they didn't see it as important because guys were still supporting the game. So I don't understand, like most of these guys that are saying that, I never bought the game since this. They're lying. You bought the game last year. You bought the game, and if you didn't buy the game,
even if you waited till it's $15.99,
exactly,
you went and got it.
You still went and got it, and you guys can use the excuse and say that, it's the only football game in the market. What you want me to do? Well, if it was that bad and you really wanted that change, you just shouldn't have bought it at all. Period. And guys will treat a game like this and say that, it's completely awful. Therefore, like I'm just not going to even I just don't get it, man. I don't lost my train of thought with that, but. It just doesn't make any sense for me with guys just buying the game and then saying that it's all the way trash. Now, we all know, like, okay, we know Madden is the same game, but because it's the same game doesn't mean there's no positives in it. Some guys act like there's just nothing good with the game of Madden. I would never play any old game over Madden right now. And then there's some guys who are blind thinking older games and then I'm not even going to use the term blind since homeboy wanted to use it in the Discord.
Yeah, blind.
But
yeah, no,
some
blind
guys,
is the word.
I'm not going to say blind, and the reason why is because people have different opinions. People have different opinions. If they think the game is trash, I'm not going to sit there and argue with the guy and say that and try to convince him that it's not trash. Bro, there's a game right now that's been top of the market that we all can pretty much all agree on and say this was probably the best game. Everybody's played this. But there's somebody out there who's going to say, nah, this is trash. So you will never, there's no point of arguing and trying to get anybody to change their mind on anything. So if they feel that way, that's cool. But what I don't get is, like, once again, if you feel that way, why are you buying the game? Why are you commenting? You know what I mean? Why are you, that makes no sense for you to do that.
Like you loaded up a chat that said Madden such and such.
Exactly.
Oh man,
you're searching
I'm not
for
it.
That's another thing. You're searching for it. You're
argue with
searching
people
for
like,
Madden.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, man, but I don't go looking for Brussels sprouts, man. I don't like them. So I don't go googling Brussels sprouts and hanging out in Brussels sprout Discord just so I can hate and just say broccoli is better. I'm sorry, guys, I don't do it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how many of the guys that are watching or are even just playing the game in general right now are old enough to remember the PlayStation 2 days, but like that's the other part that sort of gets me when people like accuse us of, being blind or not knowing or not thinking that it's a bad game. Man, I've been there when this game was top. So I really, really don't want to hear it from anybody who has not been playing the game since 2000, because I've been there when this game was top of the line. Facts. All right. Facts. I'm not giving this game a break at all. Yeah. But I can at least be a realist enough to understand that they have some bad years and they are at least attempting to fix it, and I'm accepting that. That's all we're doing here. Then that's what I think a lot of dudes are missing out on, because they might not know anything about Madden being great. Yeah,
and dudes trying to take like keywords like impressed and say that just because we said we're impressed doesn't mean, like we were saying earlier, that the game is top of the line. We don't have no worries. There's still some things that we haven't seen in the game that we would like to see, but we're not sitting up here complaining about every little thing that's just simply not in the game. As long as they've taken a good stride to do that, which they did not take for like years, then what are you complaining for? That's what I don't get. I don't get that. And especially to say that and to not give an opinion. If you're going to give an opinion saying the game's trash, bro, and you didn't play it, like, come on, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Makes no sense.
That's just trolling, man. That's
trolling. Blind. You didn't even see the game. So what are you talking about? Makes no sense.
Crazy.
But you gonna say something, Rob?
No, I was getting on the health thing, man. Like that was just something that I thought was really cool. Because we've talked about that, right? Players being at the height of their game at the end of the season, when they've battled the toughest defenses, man. They've taken shots, you know, they've got injuries, but they come back 100% healthy, right? So I really like that feature. You know, then you can actually see the players. It doesn't just affect the star players. It affects everybody on the team, from your special teams guys to your linemen. You know, all your other key areas. And so I thought that's something that's really cool, and it just changes the dynamics of the RFL because, I mean, we're kind of, I'm not gonna say we're a stacked league, but we have like some good players, right, at all levels. And now, because stamina and health or whatever is a thing now, not just in the game but over the season, that allows for other players to step up and play when you need somebody to be 100% against this cornerback, you know what I mean, or whatever, or against or this wide receiver or whatever, you know. So yeah, I thought that was really, really interesting, man.
Yeah, and I see
know,
guys
really,
bringing
really
up other channels and stuff talking about, you know, Ryan Moody and what's the other guy? Soft Drink. And I think Soft Drink definitely has some good points and stuff like that. I really don't feel like he like hates on the game. He just points out points, you know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes I feel like Ryan Moody goes overboard, but sometimes, like, you know, those are those guys' opinions. If they're making these type of stuff and they got the, you know, like I said, some people may look at it as these guys are fueling hate, and, you know, they could feel that way. But, you know, if that's their opinions, that's what they have their channel for. You know, if that's what they want to push, it is what it is. You follow what you want to follow. But, you know, like I said, what I don't get is why come into, you know, a channel even such as this, become part of something like this and not like the game. Why would you even want to be, you know, a part of a Madden league if you really truly hated it? You don't really hate it then, you know, like, and, it makes no sense.
Yeah, and like, you know, Mac, I agree with you. The small details are important, and I still want them to go along. You know, which a lot of guys don't know is, if you're not a part of the beta, then you don't understand this. But there is a private feedback group for the game itself. And every time I get to be a part of a beta, and I know Smitty and Rob do this as well, we're in there with every little small detail we can think of, trying to get it in front of a dev and hoping somebody sees it and hoping somebody changes it. And I'm in agreement there. There is a lot of things that the game is still missing. I'm not going to disagree with that, and nobody is.
Yeah, nobody's saying your points are invalid, though, bro.
Yeah,
like,
not at all.
I'm
just saying we have to acknowledge the fact that there is at least change this year, and that is the impressive part, because we've had many years where there was no change at all, like literally at all.
And not only that, if guys, like I said, if guys continue to hold on to what happened in the past and all those years when they're making these strides, they could make this game the best Madden that Madden's ever been at. And guys would, just because of the hate over the years, would look at the game and still say, "Oh, this is trash. When it's better than everything else." I mean, even though this is the only thing on the market right now, I'm saying, like, you know, right now we're seeing good signs of other companies starting to get in a competition, which is what I think is really fueling EA, especially with the backlash and everything. But with that, that's why it's like you just can't focus on all the old stuff, man. Like, and I understand we went years without no improvements in certain areas, and, you know, certain stuff looked the same, and it sucks for us that played it for all those years and stuff like that. But, like, as long as you're seeing this, and like I said, you're getting this feedback. You know, we were vocal about the game last year. You know, we even had a couple of posters saying, like, "Yo, look, Madden 21, in this regard," I think it was Madden 20 we said it, but it was like, "Yo, look, Madden in this area, man, is trash." You know, we put it out there. Like, Madden's not doing the job. We need this stuff changed, because it was, at a point, it was similar. It was the exact same stuff that we were getting. And like I said, not at a point. It was, for a long time, it was. But, like, when this happens, you have to start being like, okay, you don't get satisfied all the way. I'm not saying you should be all the way satisfied and not say anything. Continue to still speak up and say, like, "Yo, we need this in the game." But don't dial up the heat or say something that you know is just outlandish, like, "Oh, this game is completely trash. You never played it," and stuff like that. And they've made improvements in certain areas. And then, like, sometimes I see guys complaining about certain stuff that's in the game or things or outcomes that just logically, from the way they're trying to put it, just doesn't make any sense, and it would happen that way. You know, one of the biggest problems I've always said with Madden is sometimes the animations. I think one of the biggest issues with Madden is they do have lack of animations, because you see a lot of the same animations in certain situations, but they just don't have a lot of different animations to trigger when the ball or the play is in certain positions. So that's what makes some of the outcomes look extremely weird, because they have a lack of animations, and they need to also find a way to incorporate the physics a little bit more and stuff like that. But let's all guys aren't going to agree to hate on Madden, but let's just sit here and be honest. Compare next gen's gameplay, like from watching, if you watch the RFL and you watch how current gen played for us this past season, for this season right here, and then we got on next gen, the way the game played, that wasn't an improvement. Like
Night and day, bro.
That was completely different.
Yeah.
But guys will not admit it, because they hold on to, oh, this hasn't changed or that hasn't changed. That's what the problem is with the community in certain areas. Like, we understand that some things need to be improved, but you also got to accept when there's changes and when there are things that's getting, changed for the better. And you got to acknowledge that, but at the same time, you still do keep that pressure on them with what you think should be in the game. That's where I think we need to, as a community, come together and push the stuff, which is what this beta is out here for. Most guys would even get the beta code and not leave no review, which makes no sense at all. What's the point of you getting the beta code and trying to make the game better if you're not going to leave any feedback? And then when they do leave feedback, the feedback is terrible, because they just say, oh, the game sucks, or oh, this sucks. What about it sucks? Tell them specifically what it is that is not working well. Be descriptive about it. Be brief about it, because let's be honest here too. If you're all the way lengthy with something, imagine you working for EA and reading a 2-paragraph thing. Like, they're not going to really look at that, So unless it gets a whole lot of thumbs up or something, but like, be brief and be very descriptive and to the point of what it is that is the issue about the game. I think if everybody who had the beta was to do that, they'll have a much more clearer vision on what needs to be changed about the game, and actually focus towards that, like they focused towards franchise this year. So that's just my key points.
So, and I just want to put it back. I'm really not trying to like make this all about just what you're saying, but I'm seeing the points you're bringing up. But I just want to make sure I address some of them, because I feel like all of the stuff you're saying has valid points behind it. But like, the feedback thing you're saying about it's falling on deaf ears is I'm not trying to be rude, but it's just wrong, because if everything we said. And I'm not saying me or the guys here or you in particular. I'm saying that the community was never heard and fell on deaf ears. This Madden thing, I don't think happens this year, and that's just the facts. Do they listen as much as they should? No, probably not. I agree with that, but they do listen to some degree. They do, and just to like talk about some actual positives here. I was playing the beta here just a little bit ago, and one thing that I think is really going to be awesome for some guys is, especially if you watch the RFL, is these quarterbacks, man. I have a guy on. I was playing with my Vikings, and I have the rookie quarterback in Kellen Mond, because I always want to see the new players, and I saw him actually making decisions in the pocket of running. Yes, he ran a lot, but there was a few plays where he would take off running, and then all of a sudden he would stop and reset his feet and throw the ball downfield. Or when he ran, he actually dove or didn't get hit and fumbled every single time. And, another awesome thing I'm seeing is, and then Rob, I think you mentioned this way earlier in the day, is it seems like the running backs are running with more intent now. Like, it seems like they
destination to the hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It seems like they actually have a reason for what they're doing more often, which those are the things that we have to pay attention to. The graphics are not going to get much better. They're great already. That was never an issue. But we're seeing the gameplay starting to improve as well, and it's only going to get better as the years go on and as they learn more about the next gen, so.
Another thing that we saw too. You go ahead.
No. Oh, well, I guess for gameplay, one of the biggest thing for gameplay, we're seeing the slight improvements and things like that. We're not saying that it's all the way the best, but like I've said, there are those subtle improvements still made the gameplay even a lot better to watch, because I will say this, the gameplay is not dramatically different. What you saw in next gen from Madden 21 and the way that it played out, there's still a lot of similarities in kind of the ways they move, but it's just the little additions that they've added have made it smoother. And you just know over the years it's going to continue to get smoother. So what I will say, because we're talking in the aspect of how we play the game, for guys who are new here, we play CPU versus CPU simulation style. So we watch our games. For a guy who's user playing this, I will say that the gameplay, it is different, but it's not nothing drastically different. It's still going to be similar to how it was on Madden 21 with the kind of the local motion, but it's just going to be a little bit smoother and a couple more animations in certain areas than that there weren't before. Now that's just something that's going to improve over time. If you're a gameplay guy, then yeah, that's going to hit you in a different way if you play it. But it's completely different from the way that we watch and play it.
Yeah, and just that's what I was just about to say, Smitty. Like, there's a lot of guys in the chat right now who are saying that we're capping the game isn't good.
They don't even have to
I don't know if you're playing the game with the sticks or if you're watching the game like how we do, but you should know that this is not a user to user league.
Yeah.
And we're not rolling out out of the pocket and running the ball and throwing it and all this other crazy like glitch stuff. Like, we're actually a legit simulation league. And you're capping if you're saying that this game has not improved in many areas. I spent all day on this game, and it's improved in so many different areas for our play style. So please notice that. Like, one thing I did see too, Smitty, was that I was telling you I was really excited. Like, the quarterbacks are no longer holding the ball with one hand now and
trying to scramble,
palming it and trying to scramble. Like, they tuck it and get out of there. You know what I mean? Like, so that in itself, I thought was looking really good as well, especially for the scramblers. Just getting out of the pocket, clutching the ball, knowing where they want to go. The whole idea of just running with authority, like, you just have to see it right from the side to side view, and you can see like, oh, this guy's no longer confused, man. He knows where the hole is at, and he's going to the hole. Like, I felt like when I saw I think it was Jones on the Buccaneers or whatever. Like, when they were down at the goal line, bro, he was zooming, like, just hitting the hole hard, saw the gap and didn't like hesitate, or he didn't like try to do a juke move, go to the right side or whatever into the pile somewhere. He hit the hole, and stood up and was like, I've got this touchdown. And then he dove, for the touchdown, you see? So, hey, man.
Yeah,
I just look at the game way different than a lot of other guys do who play the game.
And this is what I will say.
Big difference is.
If you play the game, this is what I will say. I didn't think that playing the game user, when Madden 21 was too bad, to be honest. I didn't like it on current gen because it was too swervy and things like that. I think playing the game, you are definitely going to have a lot more issues than what we're going to bring up. But we play the game at its truest form. So, it's hard to try to dictate how certain things are going to go when you got players, forcing things to be broken in the game. For instance, if you're like, they got to try to come up with things. I understand they got to try to come up with ways to stop people from doing it, but it's difficult to try to stop somebody, like Rob was saying, from running all the way out the pocket or finding some type of loophole to create a play when the game itself typically doesn't do that. You're not going to see that in the style of way that we play. CPU versus CPU, you're not going to see a quarterback roll all the way out and throw. And how many times we saw that? Like with one time with Worrell in the conference championship game. No, I mean in the divisional game. Like that is a rare occasion that something like that should happen. But when you're playing it, you got to be honest with yourself, man. You use the money plays. You see people using the money plays and certain stuff like that. But that's just simply just not how the game in its truest form is supposed to be played out. One area I will say with it being in its truest form too is this AI, the AI of the game. We already know that needs to be improved in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
Yes, we know that. And we can see that in the CPU versus CPU gameplay. But like I said, we would be lying up here, we would be capping, like they were saying in the chat here, if we were to say that there was no improvements at all with them towards the AI and the way that the players played. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where you guys are capping. Like, you gotta be real. You guys don't play it in that aspect, or you're the ones trying to make a certain play that's not supposed to happen, and putting it in that area.
I get it though, Smitty. Like, I understand, guys, because I'm pretty sure a lot of these guys are like in those. I remember I used to be in those leagues, and you got 50 people in there, and only 14 people show up to play their league game. And everybody's saying Madden is terrible. Madden is terrible. And then you're in like 5 discords and you got to play your game at 6, 8, 10, 9, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And you're upset, and you know your servers are terrible because you're getting disconnects and all that crazy stuff, and your opponent is late because he's walking the dog, and you got another game coming up, and you just get teed off at the game. You just mad. You just hate Madden, right? And then you're probably not that good, so you're losing games. And so you just think the game is just terrible, man. We don't have that kind of experience here in the RFL because we don't hold the sticks. See what I'm saying? Like we turn the game sideways, right? And we watch the game, and it's just different here, man. You know, so I can understand why guys are kind of like, man, you know, because they want to play the game. You know, that's fine. If you want to play the game, hey, you might struggle for a little while longer, man. But what I'm seeing here, you know, with what we're doing here, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's just the longevity with us playing Madden is going to be longer than you playing it. It just is, because for one, it's exactly the same situation as it is when you're watching a real life football game. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how a certain player is going to play. Let's be honest. When your favorite YouTuber is playing a Madden and they got their series going, you know they're going to win a championship. You know they're going to win just about every game they play in, even with it on all Madden. Now, yeah, maybe Madden needs to find a way, EA needs to find a way to have those be a lot more harder and improve the AI even more. But, you know, that's hard to do, you know, from a programming standpoint. But, like, we don't have those issues, though. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. We don't experience those issues. So that's why our experience is much different from the guys who are here who do play the game. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say that you're wrong for having that opinion. I just think that also, if you haven't played the game or the beta at all, then you really should just try that, especially because it's free. It's not like you got to pay anything. Try it out. And if you feel like it's the same trash that you claim it to be, then don't buy it. But but how many times have I said, you're going to be the exact same guy who's going to pay for the game anyway.
Actually, Smitty, we giving them bad advice, man. Buy the game or get the beta. You should have signed up for the every beta, but get the beta. And if you don't like something, go put it in the feedback thing and let them know what you don't like about it. You know, that helps in the long run, because you know all these people hate on the game, and you don't even get that many people putting in the work to put the feedback. Like all these changes here. Like I saw somebody say, "Oh, the game is going to be the same for the next 3 years," but it's not the same. It's not. This game is not the same as last year. Yeah. But clearly, you can tell who has the beta and who doesn't. Yeah. Because if you were saying the game is the same as last year, then you clearly have not even seen it.
And not only that, bro, hearing people just aren't being real, because we can sit here, like Madden 21, we can say the features probably didn't get any changes, but we can't sit here and say it was the same as 20. We knew what the improvements were. Right. You know, like, but people were going to be, just because it was minimal, which of course it was, that was a problem. You're lying to yourself saying that, oh, it's the exact same game. The only game of Madden for me that I can remember was like pretty much almost the legit exact same was like Madden 10 going to Madden 11. That was the only Madden for me that I was just like, bro, there was no features new here. You know, like, but we know what the difference is. We see the difference. But I think the problem is guys want to see such a drastic change from year to year. And it would be good if the company could do that. But, you know, that's just not going to happen. It's just not realistic. And we could say it could be realistic because you can try to compare it to 2K, but the same people who sit here and say and try to compare 2K basketball to to Madden and stuff like that, like there's people who's playing 2K that thinks that 2K is trash. Like, and we're looking at it like, you think 2K is trash? Look how in depth this franchise is, you know? Yeah. But like, that's what I'm saying. People are going to have differences in opinions, but stick to your word. If you're going to say the game is trash, first of all, you better play it before you give an opinion, because it don't make sense for you to even say anything about the game if you've never seen it. And then also, stop buying the game. I don't understand why you buy the game if you are completely done with it, because that truly, like I said, means that you're not done with it. You want Madden to be great. That's why you talk about it. That's why you want to keep bashing it, because you want Madden to be great again. Let's be honest.
It's like a closeted, you know, like a, you know, they don't want to admit that they want to play the game and want it to be great. Like there's the issue is, you know, there's certain ways to go about doing that. And a lot of the times nobody goes about it the right way. And it comes from anger and disappointment, which I get. But, you know, Like there's some things like we're hanging on to that just aren't really true, and I think guys just have to really look at not just Madden, but just every sports title, every sports title, every year. You know, the biggest thing with Madden, it's the same game. It's the same game. How often is the game gonna change?
Yeah.
How many times does NBA 2K change? FIFA, hockey game, baseball. I don't care which sport. The game doesn't change much because the game has already been made. You know,
most of these guys don't even change their socks, man. They want Madden to change.
We have
they
to.
Ain't even change your undershirt. You got the same smelly undershirt, man. You've been wearing the same comb, your fro. You ain't picked it out. You ain't changed your clothes in a whole week, and you're mad because Madden ain't changed enough for you, man. I don't understand it, guys. I don't understand. You're using the same plate, the same bowl, your ramen noodles, you microwave. You ain't even washed it in a whole 10 days, and now you're out here talking about you want some change. Where the tabernacle at, guy? Somebody get the congregation out here now.
Bell for those guys, man. Some dudes, I think it gets like with 2K, I feel like a lot of guys are more so privileged because you know, some guys can complain about 2K, but for me, like I suck at 2K, so that's the only reason why I'll never buy it and play it. I just know I'm trash at the game. Ain't no point in me buying it because I know I ain't gonna get my enjoyment out of it. But with 2K, man, like the stuff in it is so in depth. But like for a guy who's been playing it, if they didn't make too many changes, now they're complaining about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, bro, this is probably the most in depth you can make this franchise for 2K, and you got guys up here, they ain't changed nothing. They ain't doing nothing. What is there really to change? I mean, they can add a few things, maybe, but like, if it's already great, you know, maybe you can add a few little things. You got your little rosters and stuff. There's going to get to a point where there's nothing else you can do to add on to the game to make it better. So that's another reason on why game companies in the first place is not going to put everything you want in the game, because you're not going to buy the next title. And shout out to Jacob McCall for the $1.99 donation. He says they asking for a yearly game to make major change. Exactly.
Yo, RJ, man, look, I've been playing this game since '98. Please don't go there. My gosh, is that everybody's argument? I've been here for the games. I was here since PS1. I know how it was.
I don't want to put these guys' age out there, but I'm the youngest guy on here. Like I'm
30 years old. I've been playing this game for 20-something years.
I played this game on floppy disk.
We get it, guys.
We didn't even have seasons. I had to write it down on a piece of paper.
Nobody's going to have your same opinion. And that's the issue with people today, is that they think that, if they don't have my same views on this game, and screw them, they're stupid or this. No, nobody's going to have your same opinion.
Nobody's saying the game is perfect. Again, nobody is saying the game is perfect.
And he says he's 22.
That means he's only played since what? He's only played since Madden 11.
So you haven't even played the games these guys.
Yeah, haven't even played the game. Come on, man.
Like, guys,
if you look, you just need to stop complaining if you didn't see ambulances on the field and hear Madden say there's a man down. If you didn't see that, and just stop complaining right now and join the RFL bus. This is the greatest Madden that we've had in this league, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm trying to tell y'all this.
And if you watch the league this year, I mean, like the RFL, like this was the best season based off the gameplay. So we saw obvious differences. You guys just, hating on the game. I'm not even going to say that you're hating, but I feel like you're doing too much. If you honestly feel that way, I don't feel you're hating if you honestly feel that way. But the issue is you trying to push your agenda onto somebody who does not agree with you. That's what the issue comes from.
I just don't like how it's not. Nobody wants to accept the fact that there is at least change happening. And it's like, just because, like I said earlier, man, I am not here to say that Madden is perfect. Nobody is saying that. But we also can't be naive enough to deny the fact that there has been positive change. And that's all we're here to talk about with you guys about. Like, that's it. Like, everybody's in the chat like, oh, you guys didn't watch the trailer. You didn't watch this. You didn't do that. Yeah, we did.
Let me get hashtag betalist. Hashtag betalist.
We're just accepting as realists that there's been a positive change.
And
that's it.
That's the problem too, is guys. So
we don't even think
even if
differently than
somebody
these guys.
says the slightest thing positive about Madden,
Yeah,
people want to try to tear that
I
person down.
agree with almost
Like,
everybody
that's-
in this chat.
Yeah, like
I
we
just don't take
agree
it so
with
extreme.
we agree with you guys on what happened in the past, but we just seen something we're going to talk about the positive of it. You know, so like there's no point of keep talking about the negatives of it, because if you keep trying to drill the negatives, and like I said, that you can build up a hate crowd and stuff like that, but that's not going to change the game. EA's not going to listen to you. You know, like what they are going to listen to is a genuine community. Like we came together, like we all got fed up with the franchise not being made, and we all talked. If that was the case, Ryan Moody could have been got his crowd to push, you know, guys to attack Madden and be like, yo, we need to fix franchise and all this stuff. It was because we all came together. And you guys also think that, like, you guys assume that just because the way that you play the game or your feelings, you think that there's more people who play the game of Madden that has your same feelings. And that's not the case. That's the reason why there hasn't been any change. You guys think that people stuck up enough, that enough people stuck up for the game for it to change back then. But how many times have EA came out and showed you the ratings to prove that that's not the case? You know, so that's just not going on. That's the issue. You thought you had the numbers that was going to change because you thought they're not listening, but the reason why they're not is because it's not actually enough of the people that agree with you, that you think. That's where the issue is.
Yeah. So what have we all been able to talk about so far with?
So we talked about franchise. We already gave our little franchise points. So let's go ahead and talk about. So let's go with the viewpoints, because what I wanted to do was go with the viewpoints on what they got here on the schedule.
Yeah.
So number 2, they got the dynamic game day, and this was pretty much about the stadium and stuff. So what do you guys think about about how that was implemented in the game? Honestly, for me, like I felt like the stadiums was a little bit more alive and stuff like that. Of course, like I said, things need to be improved too. I'm still seeing some guys just sitting still, and you know, guys need to be updated graphically. But it's been an improvement on the game day. In terms of I didn't see, from the way that we play the game though, I didn't see like those cutscenes that they showed in the trailer, where, you know, you got to see the guys storming the field and those emotions. Maybe that's a user versus user theme, you know, and we're not going to be able to give you our opinions on that because we're just not a user versus user channel, guys. You know, we're CPU versus CPU, you know, but we're giving you our honest opinion on the game at its base state. But that's where I got from the dynamic game day. I really didn't see too much of that though in the beta.
Yeah, you know, I can't really tell just yet. And because I went and relocated to Chicago. I did watch the Buccaneers and Chiefs game. And that to me was kind of lit. It was lit, you know, like the game loaded up. And remember, Speedy, I actually had my monitor headphones on, and just you know, from a broadcast perspective, the crowd sounded so much more lively, I guess, you know. And I know that's gonna some people are gonna cringe because of what we dealt with on the transitions and everything.
By the way,
but,
with that, I didn't hear that problem either.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. Yeah, but the crowd stadium sounded really cool. They were really into it, and just the, you know, like the collisions I was hearing, the stuff on the field, the atmosphere to me, even when I relocated, you know, to Chicago, it still felt like a big game. You know, I think it was Chicago versus the Jets or whatever it was, but it still felt like a big time game. The presence, obviously the presence. There's some. It's the beta, so there's like those freeze frames and stuff like that because they haven't fully like put the transitions in and all that stuff. So it's clunky, it's heavy a little bit, you know. But I feel like the direction that it's going is in a positive direction. Like it really felt like this is like football. Like this is like what you see, you know, on game day on TV. This is what's here, and that's what it's leaning toward. And it felt like just as good as all the games did this year, you know.
Yeah, and then even like in RJ dude talk about you trying to get hired, but it's funny to me, like dudes even it's making you look like you're just not listening.
Let's just start ignoring them, Smitty. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how
like you just because we're saying once again something positive, it's making you think that you know we're all pro for. Well, we want Madden to succeed. I think that's the reason why you're here, right? Like you want to see if that's a change. Why else would you be looking up Madden content? So at the end of the day, like we all want Madden to be positive and succeed, but how is it going to if you don't look at it in that light? Or how is it like going to be able to get its sales or its positive points out there if nobody's talking about it? You know, so like you know, I'm going to ignore them for the rest of this on, but like you know, at the end of the day, it makes them look bad because it's just like it's kind of like how could you even think that? You know, how could you even move that way if you're not even first of all, you didn't play the game, you didn't do nothing. You're just talking, literally with no facts. That's like trying to back up something with no facts and prove a point. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But go ahead, Bill.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bill.
I was just gonna say, man, like I really like how I was a little concerned when I heard about the dynamic game day thing with like the home field advantage and stuff.
Mhm.
But I played a couple of games the way we play it, of course, in a franchise, and I really noticed that I was worried it was going to be OP, right? I was worried that no matter what happens, the home team was just going to, the crowd was going to make the game too hard for the away team and it was just going to get crumbled. But that meter moves enough throughout the game, almost like it does in real life, where, if the defense starts doing something good or the opposing team is getting in a rhythm, you almost can hear or feel the stadium getting quieter.
Mhm.
And then you start to actually get benefits from it, right? It's like you throw the home team off. But if it's the other way around, of course, and the home team is getting in their rhythm, that really puts a damper on the away team. And I just think that is so cool, man, because that's one thing that hasn't really been even remotely put in the game at all, is it didn't really matter if you were home or away,
Yeah.
This one, it feels like those teams that have those like crazy dynamic stadiums in real life are actually in a slight way get that kind of a feel in this game now, which is just adding to it. And there's actual little boosts that your team gets in different situations for that, which is awesome. Like, messing up somebody's hot route, or can't hear anything, or making the quarterback think something else because you're getting the momentum side of things and helps you keep it. So I really was excited to see that, and I was happy that it wasn't as OP as I thought it would be just for the home team.
Yeah. I actually saw a home team lose with momentum.
Yeah.
So it's not that much of an impact that I saw. So you got any last thing on that?
Well, I'm gonna weave this in, man, because we didn't even talk about the staff management.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I was gonna weave that into what Bill was saying. Like the staff management is what's gonna actually dictate a lot of that momentum stuff that's going on the field. And like, you guys obviously can't see it. I wish we could show it, but we can't. But on the staff management, the trees, so basically, like, the more successful you are in your franchise week to week or whatever, and the more you accomplish certain specific goals and obviously win games, you start to get these staff points. And the staff points can be spread throughout your head coach, your offensive coordinator, your defensive coordinator, and then you have a player personnel, which is just like in general route trees. And so if any of you guys have ever played like games like Skyrim and stuff like that, right? These are like those RPG
it's exactly
trees
like like NCAA 14. So if you play
Yeah,
NCAA
okay, that's
14,
fine. Yeah, so
that's where
that's
exactly what it is.
So you can take those, and you can, obviously use that and incorporate that along with your game plan and your strategy and all these other things, man. The training, even like, okay, so Bill's talking about the game day and how it, he thought it was going to be OP and stuff like that, and that's true, but like there's like ways, like, like with the whole practice thing, and you can like basically like have your team maybe go full pads practice, right? Or go half pads so they can be more prepared, And so if they went full pads, like let's say they've been going full pads, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, that impacts like the morale of your team, the health of your team, which equates that into what Bill is saying on franchise on game day, because now you're up against another team who maybe is well rested. You see what I'm saying? And so you'll start to see that meter fluctuate based off of those game plans from the coaches. So it's kind of like a tug of war between two teams. And I'm pretty sure that when that's applied to how we play in the RFL, because I'm pretty sure users aren't even going to be doing that. They just want to press start, and go play it. You know what I mean? That's not going to, but with us, because we're so in depth with that kind of thing, that's going to allow us to change the dynamics of the game. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's something that's crucial, to what we're seeing this year.
Yeah, another thing to add to that too is everything matters now when it comes to just the practice, and your the way you upgrade your staff is through how you perform in your goals, and so you actually have to make good choices for your weekly goals for your coordinators and your head coach, because otherwise you don't get the kind of upgrade points that you want to be able to upgrade the packages that'll help you out in drafting and free agency and re-signings and extra boosts on the field and things like that. So everything just sort of matters more now, which is something we just never saw. You could easily just go hit start week, skip training, boom, we're in, and nothing would really negatively impact you. And my game that I just played before we got on here, man, my quarterback got hurt in practice with a dislocated arm or shoulder, and I had to play my backup for that week because he couldn't go. I'm like, what? I've never seen that just from training. Like, the dudes can get hurt in training. So it's like, you got to be careful what you choose, who you play. Like, it's really a lot more fine tuned for the guys who want to have to, sort of like Baker said in the chat, have a chess match going.
Yeah, that's what franchise mode is all about, man. It's about managing, about actually getting that experience of what would happen if you were in that position as a coach, owner, whatever it is. So that level of realism is what we've been asking for. So it's great to have that. Another thing with that being in the game is it also pushes the fact that depth now is important on teams. Because how many times this season, we were talking about this before we got on this podcast, if you've been watching the RFL, how many times was Tavion Hall getting a rock a game, or Madison Axel? These guys, every single game was getting about 35 to 40 carries a game and 100% each week. If you think that's going to be going now with those features, it's not going to happen. So what is that going to do? It's going to make it's going to make the teams more realistic to have to utilize their depth. So now, this is a great thing for the up and coming players that are about to be in this league, that's about to get drafted, because now you can be a backup and get time on the field. Because now you don't have to worry, oh man, I got Tavion Hall in front of me, I'm going to have to wait until this guy retires. He's only 25 years old. I got to sit for 5 years. You don't got to sit for 5 years now, because he could get hurt, or he could be not 100%, or be winded, and now you can come in. And not only that, you could be the third string guy. The second string gets hurt or something, and now you have to come in. Like, the coaches now have to find a way to get you guys all now involved. And there's only been, and the most successful,
keep you healthy.
Exactly. And the most successful coaches in the RFL have been the ones to utilize their depth beforehand. So those are going to be the most successful coaches, I feel, in Madden 22. One of the things also is, looking at the Dreadnoughts. They used every single one of their running backs in different situations. Now that they're already accustomed to that, like, that's a team that you can look at, that how most teams are going to have to run their offense now, So, like, just looking at it from that aspect, this is exciting for our league. Like I said, we can't really say too much for the guys who play the game as users. And we already understand we're a minority in terms of the game being played this way. But, we just want to give our opinions out there. And then we also can think, like we've played it a little bit, to understand that even with user play, there's certain things. Like I said, the only thing I didn't see, let's go ahead and get into that topic right now. So what are some things that you guys think needs to be improved? I honestly, like I said, I didn't see much of a difference too much in the gameplay user-wise, but I will say this, it is improved, and there's not really too much that I can think of to add to it. It just needs to be a lot more animations and stuff that'll come over time.
Well, there's a question, and I can answer that with your question there. So Roland wants to know, can you edit the staff management? Roland, I really wish we could, man. You cannot edit the coach, but if you fire him, then you can actually hire somebody. And then, like, what's really cool about that is that you can actually pretty much, like, go through the coaches that are there in the free agency or whatever, or in the coach pool. And you can see, like, based on experience, how much experience they have, the style of offense that they have, all that stuff, defense. And some of them actually come with hiring bonuses and everything, right? So, like, while I would like to improve the fact that it'd be nice to rename the coach, or maybe change the coach's look, there is, like, some custom ability there as far as, like, finding the right guy for you. And then I really liked about it was that they had the hiring bonuses for those points, those skill points that are attached to them, which I think is a big deal, man. So, but as far as, like, what Smitty's saying about, improving it, man, like, guys, like it's a beta, first of all, and it's glitchy. It is glitchy because it's a beta. But Like, and I know it's not gonna be like this when it's finished, you know.
Yeah.
But there's really is nothing that I can think of other than like add the creative team. We've seen it 30
Yep.
times today, right?
Definitely need
Create a
creative team in the game.
create a player. We want 32 players in a franchise mode. I mean, 32 teams in a franchise mode. We still don't have that. But you know what, though, man? We got a tall order. We got a tall order. And I'm going to say I feel like at least 50%, 60, 70% of that list was delivered, man, in a year's time, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what makes
it's beautiful, man.
That's what makes us optimistic for next year, though. You know, like
Right.
it's just like honestly, the reason why I even used the word impressed for watching is because I knew it was going to be a better Madden this year because of the pressure and everything. But I kind of, because of the stuff that happened in the past, didn't expect them to put as much as they did with improvements. And not only that, we're still going to get a little bit more once it releases. So when you think about that, I'm very optimistic and I am impressed with what is placed in the game from Madden. So that's my viewpoint in terms of that. Some things I think should be put in the game, like we already touched on, the creative team and stuff like that. But when you really think of it, the main things, as I talked about, and I feel needs to be put in Madden is just they just need to build even more on the gameplay each year. And they can build on that as the game is going on because they know that they can update the stuff. But like that's just going to come over time. Once they're starting to roll in these features now. So once these features get back to back how they were back in the day and a lot more in depth, there's really nothing really to complain about. You just got to wait for like every year for those improvements to be made on the gameplay ends. There are still some things on the gameplay end that needs to be adjusted. Now that's if there's anything I can say about what really needs to be in the game other than customization is there's still some just not enough animations and playouts for me. That's all it is. It's just they need to improve the gameplay to even continue to be even smoother, which they did make it smoother, but it needs to be even more smoother, which will come over time. I'm not expecting it to be all the way crispy. Second game really. Well, this is the second game, but really the first full year on a new console. So like that's why I say I just want guys to be more real in their expectations with Madden after they've taken the steps to make those improvements. It was unacceptable then, but now that they've making the steps, let's continue to hold these guys accountable to keep this up so that we can look forward to better Maddens in the future instead of trying to tear them down because we don't got every single feature that we want in the game.
Yeah. And there are some things too, Smitty, that we that I don't have them. I can't see them now, but like there was a list of things when you first load up the beta, there was a list of things that are known issues, and half of the stuff that you guys are talking about, like even like they were saying like the zone defenses, we're working on them. They're just a work in progress. We know it. We know that the zone defense is not where it's supposed to be at. And then there were some other things they were talking about, on that screen. But I tried to load it back just now to see if the screen would pop back up so I could let you guys know that they're like actively working on these. Like it was like at least like 5 or 6 things I think that were like big, that they were still working on during this stress test right now. That they're trying to get together, by August 12th or whatever, and so. They're not just giving us this and it's over. Like, no, this is the beta. This is like early access to an unfinished game, and they're still working on it. And there still may be more features. And last year, remember they gave us patches and all types of stuff. So they may even add content to it, which is going to make it even better, man. So.
And not only that, like the way that they even handled the beta this year, some people say, oh, they're doing too much. They're practically giving the game away or something. But they knew they were in the hole for not really adding the additions and stuff to franchise. These guys is giving us, because you signed up for the beta and you got the beta now, they've given us all the way up to, what did it say, July 1st?
Yeah, July 1st.
So
yeah.
July 1st. So we technically got the game from now to July 1st to play it. Yep. And we get to see these features and stuff like that. So like that, in a sense, to me, was kind of like them saying like, we messed up. We didn't want to have you guys limited because we did make quite a bit of changes. Because once you get into franchise mode, they made the menu and all types of stuff look so much different. You're not going to know where to go. Like I was confused. Like I was at least sitting there for a good 30 minutes or more trying to figure out like, okay, where is this at? Where is that at? And then you see the extra stuff also that they threw in there on franchise mode. So I like the way that they handled it with, allowing us to really have that much time to go with it. And as we're playing with it, we got these events that you can see from the schedule that are going to be coming up to explain things even more and stuff to look forward to, like the EA Play and all that other stuff. So like I thought it was a great job with all that. And then I see Nate Butler's asking about why is create a team too much. I honestly feel like, I don't know if you guys read in the forums or wherever this was at that EA put it, but they did say that they were going to do, they're going to add more reload teams. I'm not expecting them to do like the create a team like how they had back in the day just yet, but they're still sticking with the reload team options. But I do feel like they might make it customizable. Now we don't know what that looks like in the beta, because the beta is the relocation teams and everything's the same. But since they said they were going to change it this year, that means we're really probably not going to see that until the game release, So yep. I would say, once again, what we're even getting from the beta, we're talking about the positives and stuff that we've seen right now, but there's going to be even more coming to it. So that's why we're very optimistic about this game.
And I was just going to mention, I just saw actually Nick just mentioned it. So the scouting, as far as I know, is not really going to be fully in the game, I think, until launch, because I think there's a whole revamped system. So like right now, if I remember correctly, I think it's like just the same as it was, but there's going to be a whole different scouting revamp on the game. So that's going to be something we're really going to be excited to see. That's supposed to actually help along with your I think it's going to go along with your staff points and all that stuff too, to where like all of this stuff revolves around you succeeding in your franchise and being able to upgrade all of this other stuff. So that's not here yet, but that's another thing they're going to be adding as well. So that's going to be some really cool stuff to see.
Yeah, and we didn't find the gridiron notes for the beta. The details. Let me see.
Oh, well, I got it. That's what I had to feature. I had to
Oh, yeah, because go to the scouting, Smitty, part of that, because that was very interesting there, and I posted that to the Discord earlier.
See if I can blow this up some more.
Oh, you have it on the screen?
Yep, I got it on the screen.
Yeah, there was an area where it was talking about the scouting, and I said this is gonna make us change the way we do things again here in the RFL. Where is it at? Known issues. Okay, they got that. Known issues.
Oh, was it something else? Because this, I think I was.
Oh, is this
Operations?
No, this is yeah, I think the Operation Sports was that the link, or
this was the one that you posted? Yeah.
So it was in here that they talked about the scouting.
Yeah, they talked about the scouting. If you give me a moment, I can look in the Discord.
Franchise mode improvements.
Okay, right here it says latest scouting in Madden 22 has been completely revamped, and rightfully so, as this was a highly requested improvement from the community. Scouting in Madden 22 will be about assignments, and those scouting assignments will be allocated to an all-new scouting staff that will hit the road on both the national and regional level.
Yes.
This system will now include much deeper options to discover details never before in Madden.
Correct. So now, Smitty, you can, when you make those players, you upload them. Now our scouts now will be able to go out and look for that. Mm-hmm. You're saying look for that player talent and really find out true talent and stuff. If we decide to still use the in-game, the in-game scouting feature, which we went away from this year because it was pointless. But if this is going to be as revamped as we think it is, then maybe it's an opportunity for us to go back and see if maybe this is feasible now.
And then
it's not just guessing your way through this, right?
Yeah, and this is not in a beta either, because like they said this will be made available in early September. So this is not going to be something that's going to be on the game on its launch. It's going to be something like afterwards, but not too far afterwards. So like we can't tell you what the scouting is like from playing the beta because it's just not on there yet. Like I said, neither is the relocation thing that they said. They said we're going to have more relocation teams and stuff like that. We have not seen that stuff yet because it's just simply not there. It will be in either with the release or later on. So we're just telling you what we have been able to see. But with that, man, I think we should just open it up. I think we talked about most of the stuff. We just open up for if anybody got any questions that maybe we can answer from the beta, even though we've done a couple of those.
Yeah, we can answer a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah, and please, guys, and we all know that this is a very hot topic for a lot of people. Just if you ask a question or make a comment, please, we just ask that you keep it, PG. We don't like all the extra stuff in our chat. We try to keep everything as cool as possible in our community. So we don't care if you don't agree with us, but if you have questions, but please just try to keep it, on a polite level. to some degree, so that way, because we have, you don't know, we got kids in here, you never know. So
Yeah.
we just appreciate it. We don't mind that you don't like our opinions, but just at least respect our the chat a little bit to make sure we're not getting too crazy in there. Okay.
Yeah, and we got mods in here, so if you start wilding, you ain't gonna last so
Yeah.
long anyway.
Please stop spamming about Ryan Moody is live. Like Ryan Moody, the reason why Ryan Moody is cool, man, is because he speaks his mind just like everybody else, and he's kind of actually somebody I think that kind of has revved up EA a little bit and kicked him into gear. You don't have to like promote that and keep spamming that in our chat, man. We don't need to see that. It's all good, So we've watched him. It's all good, man.
And
so
I know
please
Jalen,
keep that up.
he's agreeing with us. He's trying to say, I guess, like that Madden, like, his opinion on it. Like I said, but that's Ryan Moody's stuff. And like I said, we're not going to tear the dude down because of what he titled the game. That's his opinion. That's what his channel's for. So we're not going to get at him.
Hey,
no point.
Carlos Chambers. So do you all know if we can relocate all 32 teams? As of right now, we cannot.
Yeah.
Like
But
Smitty
we
said
don't know
before,
that though.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen later because, as we know, Madden does a lot of live content updates. Will change things. So they've already made comments that they're going to add relocation teams, and I almost wonder if they're going to add them, if they're going to open that up a little bit more. I hope so anyway, but that's something we're hoping for as well.
Yeah. So we can't tell you right now, but like I said, it could be a possibility if they're talking about adding all these extra teams and stuff to the reloads. I don't see why they wouldn't make it where every team can be relocated. So I got a really good feeling that there's a high chance that could happen, but the beta that didn't show us if that could or not because it's just the same. Any other questions?
Nick says, I'm wondering if the RFL will be easier to run if you can put 32 teams in a single file.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course, big time.
A lot of things that we wouldn't have to worry about. Like, first of all, cross-conference trades would be available. Well, we don't have to worry about, the playoffs get selected anyway, but at least now you'll really get to see what teams in the RFL are really built for postseason play and not instead of getting 4 automatic wins every season, and stuff like that. So I really feel like that's going to change the game if we're able to get 32 teams in one file, and just hoping for it.
I did see that they updated some of the NFL player models' hair maybe a little bit too much because some of it looks a little crazy.
Yeah.
Play a bell, Smitty. Rest in peace to the coaches. Every coaches, all the coaches are different now. We got new coaches.
Faces. The players have a lot of. Obviously, they brought all the faces from last year, but there's a lot of spots where it looks like they're adding faces, and there's some new ones in there. I didn't see much for
you saw
accessories.
faces from last year?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of faces in there from last year.
Oh, maybe that's because I went to the heavy guys.
Players. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the players.
Oh, the players. Okay.
Yeah. And all the coaches are getting new faces, like Mix was about to say.
Oh yeah, new faces, man. No new faces.
Nobody's safe anymore.
Nobody's safe yet. There's a lot of hat concepts for you hat guys as well. I saw that. But the player models are a little bit they're bugged right now. They're missing things. Obviously, they're still working on the game. But I did see some of the newer faces. But I mean, some of the older faces, but then there's a whole bunch of new faces, and they got some new model I can tell because that face kept popping up for multiple photos of other people, and so I'm wondering if what that model is going to do for players in the league. So we may have to embrace player change again.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is.
I see somebody asked about accessories. I didn't see any different accessories in there. Did you guys see?
I didn't really. Let me look. I can look right now. Let me see.
Yeah, I didn't see any. Nathan, the last time I at least myself was excited for Madden, I think was at least before 2000. Actually, I mean, I think the last time I was excited about Madden was 2013. To be quite really excited, but that's when everything got stripped, and that's when I sort of stopped being as, I was a little bit upset about it. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've actually been excited enough to be super positive about what was coming out, because you can ask these guys, because we talk all the time. I told them all I'm not going to be positive. I think this is going to suck. Nothing's going to come out of it, and I had to bite my words today because I am excited about it now.
And let's see, Jalen says, can you choose how heavy and how light practices? Yeah, that's what Rob was talking about. So you can have light and heavy practices, which is you can have them have the pads on or not, which is going to be helpful to your players' health throughout the season. Yeah. So if there's somebody who's beat up and ran down after the game, you don't want that guy rocking full
Where
pads.
do
that
you
week,
change that at? I didn't see that.
It's in
It's
the
in the training.
Is
mhm.
it? I
Yeah,
must have
when you
not
go to
seen.
the game, you got to click into the game plan, and it opens that up, and then you click over, and it
Oh,
lets
okay.
you see. And what's crazy about that is that it's not just for starters, guys. It's for backups, and it's also
Wow.
for there's another one. There's backups. It's starters, backups, and then there's something else. Another option there, a third one. I can't remember, but and you can do it by each position as well. So you could literally like decide that you want to rest your O line but train everybody else, or you can rest your D line and train everybody else, or just your cornerbacks or your quarterback or whoever you want to be. They have light practice, and everybody else can have heavy practice, or moderate, or in high intensity or whatever. So it's really cool, man. It's really cool.
Maybe that's what my quarterback got hurt. I probably just had that thing full bore.
Straight up
Right.
full pads all week.
Yeah.
all week for 3 weeks.
Hey, Trey, yeah, we found that out 2 years ago when we did the last beta. The rookie ratings are pretty much just placebos or just like placeholders until they actually release the game, because they do the whole ratings release thing.
Mhm.
So don't worry about the ratings. If that's the case, there's gonna be a whole lot of rookies really mad this year with their ratings, because everybody's 50 something.
Yeah, so that's not
Yeah,
Bill already
that's
explained that.
that'll be changed.
Yeah. Any other questions out there? So
How similar is Madden 22 to NCAA 14?
I
For
think
example, I created a playbook and add it to my coaches.
now this is what I will say. Like, I don't think they're gonna have creative play though. I don't think that's gonna be in there. You can create a playbook though, and I think you can add it to your franchise if you're playing by yourself. But if you're like doing something like how we're doing, I don't think that it's going to be like you can have 2 separate playbooks and play against each other that's customized, unless it's another user that's using it and you're playing. So they don't have that. The similarity to NCAA 14 is the coaching tree stuff that they used to have back then that Rob was hitting on. Like that's the real only similarity I can see within the game and the atmosphere. So that's all I saw that in terms of comparison between those 2 games.
Yeah, Jalen, I can't wait to see how this health plays into it, man.
Yeah, man.
I don't know where Forbes is or whoever or Tavion, but man, they ain't gonna be able to run the ball 30-something times a game and be cool in week 15. That's for sure.
Yeah. Better learn how to balance
Just
it
shout
out.
out to the guys that got 3 backs, man. Facts. Yep.
It says, okay, who's next? It says, cool. The hell? Okay, yeah. So do you guys have a rating so far, based off of what you guys are? You hype me up again from the negativity. Like I said, some guys are going to look at. Some guys are going to like I said, just be open with the game. We're not saying like there's good enough changes for us, but we still know stuff needs to be added to the game. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all we're saying here. And it's just the guys who don't want to hear anything positive that are, doing the most. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that just listens to what everybody else is saying, talking about all the negative stuff, and you didn't try it. Try it out. If you like it, then give it a chance and play it. If you don't, then don't buy the game. You know what I mean? Don't play the beta no more. Or even if you don't like it and you're not going to play the game no more, like send feedback on why you don't like it. In that special thing, in that special form that they have, because like I said, these are the same guys that are talking trash about the game, but yet they're going to get the beta, they're going to play it, and they're not going to put in any feedback whatsoever. But yet they want to say that, oh, we got people. We got a lot of people talking to them. They're not listening. No, you're not putting the feedback. Guys, you don't have enough guys like you think that's putting the feedback there. And so guys just don't see their mistakes. That's the issue. We just encourage guys not to be that guy. We're not saying you have to like Madden. We're not saying that. We're just saying, like, try the game out and give your own honest opinion. If it's trash to you, cool, but don't try to push that on anybody either. Like, even those guys who watch Ryan Moody, bro, even Ryan Moody says that, Like he doesn't care if somebody likes Madden or not, but he's got his strong opinions on Madden. It is what it is. That's his opinion. But if somebody plays the game and he likes it, in the videos that I've seen of Ryan Moody, he still is just like, if you like it, bro, you like it. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't, then then you with him. That's pretty much that's pretty much all that really needs to be said. But like that's why I said sometimes people throw dudes' opinions out to proportions and stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say Ryan Moody or none of them dudes are some haters, bro. It's just their opinion, and that's why they bring it up here, just like we're giving our opinion here. So respect that and give yourself a chance to see if you like the game or not, man. Like that's all I'm saying.
Something that I see here too that's kind of cool, Smitty, about that fatigue thing. If you go to the player card, they now have health built into the player cards, and there's a message that changes and lets you know if some. So it's right here. It says Okorafor, right, for the Steelers. It's saying that the fatigue. It says player fatigue level is good and will not impact game day performance. To increase fatigue levels, go to player health screen and weekly strategy and manage practice intensity and practice reps. And so that's like at 100% good. But if a guy is like lower than that, that message changes, I believe, and it'll tell you like, oh, this guy here might be a risk of an injury. And then they've actually got the injury rating there, which lets you know like he's a high risk for an injury because of his fatigue level and all that stuff, which is actually pretty cool, man. That's awesome, man.
Sure, for sure, man.
I would
Any
say
other
that my if we're talking about my excitement and my rating on a scale of 0 to 5, to be quite honest with you, my expectation was about a 1, just because I've been let down so many times in the past. And I would say right now my rating is at a 3. I'm happy with the improvements. I completely agree there should definitely be more, but I'm at least happy that we've seen something move on the positive side of things. And I think it is, if you even remotely enjoyed Madden last year and are a franchise guy, I think you will enjoy it much more this year. And that's all I can really attest to at this point.
Yeah, I'm at about a 5, man, and I'm gonna say that proudly because of I'm looking at what we've come from, and I'm looking at the narrow gap, here in the RFL that I've been in. And like first of all, like this is tremendous. This is not tremendous when we're talking about old Maddens of the past, because we know what the old Maddens of the past had. So I can't compare the old days with now. Things have changed. How people think have changed. How they spend their money has changed. There's so many different factors that affect a game like Madden, which is why people don't understand MUT. But in a general scheme of capitalism and the economy, then you understand why they have MUT in the game. Now, as far as my experience here in year 1 in the RFL compared to what I think my experience is going to be here coming up next January, I think that my swag just went all the way up in this. And this is the elephant that's in the room that I didn't get a chance to talk about. But like, guys, like the reason why I'm looking at this as 5 out of 5 is because no longer now can like a coach just auto everything. And this is not just for anybody. This is not just for, I'm not speaking to you specifically, coach, who's listening there and shaking your head, right? I'm speaking in general. We have a lot of guys who like to auto things, who are autoing things and just letting the computer, the AI, just do it for them. And now, because coaches now have more in-depth, stuff about their team and about your team now, you can't just go in there and just auto. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest thing for me, because I came to this league wanting that experience. I talked about this at the beginning of the pod. Like, I want custom playbooks. I want to be able to create my own game plan, my own strategy. This here is leaps and bounds in the right direction for someone who wants to be a coach in the RFL and compete competitively against guys who are going to set game plans, and set rosters correctly and manage. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is like ultimate for me. I'm sweating right now just thinking about it, how massive this is for my experience here as a head coach in the RFL. And so it's a 5 out of 5 for me. And let me get hashtag no auto wins.
Yeah, I would say
I'm just really curious, really quick, right before you started talking, Smitty. We've had quite a few new guys talking in here. I'm just curious for my own personal reasons. Like, have you guys been watching the league and just maybe aren't big talkers in the chats, or if you guys actually just found us tonight for this stream? I'm just curious if some people could answer that, because it's been nice seeing a few new people come in and communicating with us.
Not only that, it's like, we want new people to come in and experience, so that you can understand more so our side on why we are so excited about the new things that are coming. Because if you can look at our previous games that we just had, this was by far the best year, in my opinion, of the RFL in general, in the way that we run our games. We were a simulation football league. And we've been running now 6 years strong. This is our 6th season, about to close out Relo Bowl, which is our Super Bowl. Our championship game is going to be not this Sunday, but next Sunday. And I advise you to come out for that because, those are some pretty serious games, man, when we have those big games. So, it's awesome to see new guys come here. But, if you enjoy and you've been, watching us and you understand what we're talking about, this is why it's going to lead into what I was going to say. Is that I also am with Rob with this being a 5 out of 5, man. I just don't play the game. And I'm not saying I don't play the game because it's trash or something like that. For me, I just don't get as much enjoyment as I used to anymore out of Madden, simply because ever since I played it the way that, that I started this league with CPU versus CPU, that just is more exciting to me because I can't always dictate what's going to be the outcome. I can't always, like I talked about as a YouTuber, always, start up a franchise or something, then win a championship. It's always easy. I'm always winning games and stuff like that. You just never know who's going to win, who's going to show up, who's going to perform and stuff in the RFL. That's why, like, with these new features, and now that the coaches really are going to have to know what they're doing, know what they're talking about, know how to game plan, I'm all the way with Rob on my excitement level here for this Madden, because that's what the league has been looking for. What we've been waiting for. Why, when we did do mods, why we had our custom playbooks and we had our better games, and we're looking forward to going to the mods. But now with this in the game, man, this is a game changer, especially if we know that more is coming. So, coaches, first of all, this is a lot of heat for you. If you're a coach that do not do any of your stuff and you just auto your stuff, like Rob was saying, during the season, even this season, you're going to get crushed next year.
Banged. It's over.
Absolutely destroyed. And like I said, that's going to be a clear-cut, vision for me to see, this guy didn't know what he was doing. So, coaches, y'all better be on your A game, because I'm definitely cutting dudes loose. I'm getting dudes out of here, especially even how you treat your players, because now your players' health, you got to take care of your players' health. If you're sitting there running Tavion Hall and players like that in the ground, and you just continue to do that, and you can't figure out things to do to make your team be successful, then you don't know what you're doing. That's what you signed up to be a coach. I thought you knew what you was doing, but now that we got it now, or we can see that, like I said, that's pressure, boy. If you're a coach in this league, get ready, man. That's going to be turned up. And we're going to have end of the year. I know I said I was going to have mid-season interviews with you guys, but, as the season was going on, there was a lot going on. But especially after the Reload Bowl, I'm definitely going to have end of the season interviews with you guys to talk about that stuff, and also just talk about where you feel you sit, with your future on the team and where you're trying to get the team at and stuff. So it's going to be a lot, man. Y'all coaches better get ready for Madden 22. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and then I see a couple of guys. Appreciate the new guys that are talking a little bit. It's cool if you're not big talkers. But just know we're a pretty welcoming community. We don't allow a lot of negativity. So if you want to, man, always come through and talk on our live games. But some guys are talking about submitting players. Right now they're closed. We ended that in the last week of the season, but we do check-ins to make sure that people who are at least here are and around, and not just taking up a roster spot just because they want to. And I have a feeling we might end up losing some players in closer to fall. And depending on what we do there, we might end up taking in a select few new applicants to not have too many empty spots anyway in the college series. So keep an eye out, because it's definitely not just like, you missed out and you got to wait a year or nothing like that yet. So just keep an eye out on our social media. We'll, of course, announce that kind of thing if we're going to do that. And, maybe you can get a player in yet before the end of the year.
Yeah, that's definitely, and this is a unique year for, the RFL, especially with the college series, because, like I said, these players that are playing this year, you have to play at least 2 years. So if you play this year, you're going to have to play next year too, to be in the draft next year. since we got to flip the times, we're trying to kill the time that you guys have to wait, because it used to be a whole like year that you guys had to wait to get in the league and play. Now that we're going to have it where we play this season, and then the next season you play your second after the RFL season, you'll be just coming off your last season, your second season from college in our series, and then going straight into the draft, and then you'll get drafted and you'll be playing right away in January. So that's something to look forward to, and because of that, that's why I'm really more so willing to open up the college series applications, especially if guys drop out, so you guys can fill in, because it's the best time to do it, honestly. So if you come in halfway through the season, you at least got the second year to have a full year to play, And just also to put out there, because this is something that I don't think most guys knew. If you're in the college series, and you have to play 2 years, you do have to pay the $5 fee for next year too. And the reason why is because that's taking up a spot for somebody else to possibly get in, because we are going to reopen the applications after the season is over. So if you're going to stay there at that school, then you do need to pay for that to stay there. But after you pay the $5, then you'll be going into the draft that year and everything else. So that's how that works. The guys thought they were going to just play one season and then be in the draft. Like, you can't just play one season and skip an entire year and then go in the draft. So that's why you got to play 2 years.
Yeah, and and Joseph, I don't know. I don't want you to get your hopes up with the creating teams. I don't know if we're going to get that. I hope we at least get more relocation options, but I don't know if we're going to get create a team anytime soon.
Yeah. I think it's going to be through reloads,
it's something
bro.
They don't want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's going to be through the reload teams. That's why I said when I read the thing and they talked about assets, I was thinking like, okay, these guys, they're probably going to have it where like we're going to have the reloads, the relocation logos, but I kind of got a feeling like these guys are going to allow us to change colors of the teams or something like that, or at least expand on the reload teams. That's where I feel that we might at least get something similar, but we'll have to see when the game releases.
Then Baker, I do think that we've all agreed on that now, right? We're gonna be stacking like teams where guys can stay a year if they want to.
Yeah. So also with that, like even though guys have to stay 2 years, we've also, from when we did talk about we're not going to be having everybody in that draft class be selected to go in the draft. Yeah. Like, we're going after the best guys. Pretty much you're getting invited to the draft. And if you want to go, you can go. If you want to play a third year and a fourth, you can do that. So if you play season 1 that's coming up here, then the next season and your second season, if you want to stay in college, you can do that. But of course, like every year, you do have to pay the $5 fee because you're taking up a spot that somebody else could get in. So like if you're willing to do that and you want to stay in college, just build up your college rep like that, then you can do that. But if not, then it is what it is, man. You're just going to be dropped out.
Yeah, so Lito and CP are lucky that we didn't have to do the invitations last time, because they probably wouldn't get no invites. I'm just kidding.
Ninth round.
Ninth round.
And that's a good thing for y'all too, because we're not gonna that'll help you actually have a chance to get drafted at some point and have a chance to play good. Because I know to play 1 season or 2 seasons and your guy was just probably did not put up the best numbers that year. Who knows? Maybe it's your 3rd or 4th season that you play in the college series and you're the best player at that position. Now you can get drafted and know that you have a good chance to probably see an RFL field earlier. So it's a lot of good stuff coming up with that. The thing is, I'll close this out at 9:45. So
make it a solid 2 hours, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, solid 2 hours would be 20 more minutes, and since we're open questions.
Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah. Why am I thinking 6:45 or 7:45? I don't know why.
Lots of time, man.
Yeah, 9:45. I'll close that because right now for me it's 9:39. Any other questions?
Yeah, I don't know if this is just because of what we were talking about before, but why does it look like in this picture Gino can't see very well? Look at that one eye.
Yeah, guys.
Got the Glock.
Guys, I saw a lot of flack and everything. I just laugh at it. Guys like, oh, why is Gino on the cover? Should have been somebody else. Should have been this guy, that guy. Hey, man, you got to win the MVP. in order to be the only MVP edition. It's that simple. You can't put a guy who ain't win the MVP as the MVP. Otherwise, we just put Morris Justice on the cover, and all you'll be happy and everything. Yeesh. All right, I'm done. I'm gonna take my medication.
And then guys, I'd seen some guys saying, well, that's what Madden did, putting Patrick Mahomes and Brady on there. They didn't win the MVP this year. It should have been Aaron Rodgers. But, bro, they won an MVP, so, I mean, I don't see the logic really in that. Still won one, so. Anything else? And I would have to say, Geno Gannon would definitely, if we had the GOAT edition, we did the GOAT edition back in Madden 20, remember, and we put Dre on there.
Yeah.
Dre just about been on every Madden cover, bro. Like, so.
He won 4 awards this year. They can kick rocks.
Yeah, Geno Gannon, he's deserving to be on a Madden cover, man.
How many trophies you got to hold? I mean, he's practically like Jordan holding awards right now. You know what I mean? Like how many you gotta win in order to get a poster? Yikes. Crazy.
I see that's something for the game where it says was it Giselle? I think it's Giselle.
Yeah.
Said about the trade logic. I haven't tested that out. Maybe it's the same, so I can't really speak on that. Hopefully it's different. The trade logic, that's one thing we always know that needs to improve in Madden. That needs to be improved.
They did take a pretty good big step last year in fixing that.
Yeah, pretty decent.
They made a mid-year adjustment, and I play my own franchise, and I can tell you you cannot just skate your way through on trades anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're going to change them anymore, but they did do a pretty big change with the logic last year for that.
He says adapt. You meant to say adopt 2K settings? Probably, I think that's what we meant. But I think that's what they're adding too. Is they're trying to that's why they made these improvements with more settings. There definitely still needs to be a lot more settings and stuff. But like I said, I think that stuff's going to come because they need to appeal to the franchise guys, and they're working on that now. So I'm pretty sure those features and stuff that we want is going to be coming soon.
And then I have seen a few guys throughout this ask the beta. I don't think there's going to be any codes given out. I think if you didn't sign up, you're not getting any codes. That could change, but I haven't seen anybody announcing that they had codes to give out. So they had a 2-day event at the beginning of June for people to sign up, and that's where we all got the codes from. So I don't know if it was just whoever signed up those 2 days got it or what, but it might be that way where the guys who didn't sign up are sort of SOL until the game drops.
Yeah. He said Peyton Hillis didn't win MVP. He was on the cover of Madden. But I don't think they had that MVP edition, though. It was just Madden, the cover, But then y'all just told me that the cover is the same for all of them. But I thought Madden used to have multiple, like a couple covers for certain ones. Like how they had Barry Sanders on like a certain edition back on Madden 25, and then it was different.
Still talking about the cover, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess he was just talking about Peyton Hillis example.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
I thought it was a mutiny because Geno's on the front of the cover.
Oh, nah. But yeah, man. But Peyton Hillis that year, was that the year where he was balling, man, with the Browns?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's understandable, I still don't understand why they had Peyton Hillis in the trailer, because he didn't.
Oh.
I didn't know anything about like I didn't see anything on why he was in there. For
I don't get that either, man.
Yeah.
The only tying I can have to it, and I don't remember who made mention of this to me, but I know it was one. I think one of you guys said something, or maybe somebody else in Discord. But I wonder if it was just something to do because Peyton Hillis was on the cover of the last Madden that actually had franchise improvements.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was talking about that last night.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. That's probably why.
Maybe, but that's a reach too. Who knows? Maybe it's because let's be honest.
He's a legit farmer. Maybe he's a legit farmer. He farms goats.
Goats on his farm. A lot of the guys have been on that cover.
We're not NFL ballers. We don't know if Peyton Hillis might be like a really popular guy in the NFL community, and maybe everybody knows he has a goat farm, and they thought it was a cool idea to, you know what I mean?
This guy was on the cover. He owns goats. Right. Let's go to this guy's farm.
Exactly.
It could be as simple as that. I think it's just like the the Tootsie Roll Pop, man. The world may never know. You know, we're not gonna know what's happening, man. Like,
Hey, you know what though, Smitty?
what?
You can't stop greatness. Let me get hashtag you can't stop greatness in the chat right now.
Can't stop greatness, man. We coined that.
That's a good question, Carlos. I don't know if you can poach somebody else's coordinators or vice versa.
How we do? We didn't dig that deep into the.
Yeah, we haven't. I mean, it's the first day. We might have more stuff to talk about next week on our podcast or something like that. So I mean, there's plenty of more stuff to figure out yet, but I haven't seen anything or heard anything.
CCP
That's
asking
a good
where the
question.
Reload Bowl. We're gonna know where the Reload Bowl is gonna be at after the Pro Bowls. So after the bowls are done. Oh yeah, that's another announcement. We put it in the Discord, but for the guys who are here, we are pushing back the College Series Bowl and the Pro Bowl to Sunday and Monday instead of Saturday and Sunday because ran into a little bit of an issue where I gotta actually. We thought we were going to be able to, like last year, drop you guys off and put you guys on the teams like that since you guys are already made. But now, literally in this short time frame, I gotta recreate every single one of the guys selected and get you guys in on those teams because B's made some fire unis and stuff. And we didn't want to go with no generic, classical RFL rookie series stuff where you had to go in the reload team uniforms that we didn't use. So that's why we had to push it back. I think I should be able to get that stuff done. It's going to take me some time. So if you're trying to reach out to me and I'm not responding, you know why? That's a huge reason why. I really got to get into that. So that's why those dates were pushed back for those events. And it's over the time now. Y'all want to take any more questions or are y'all good?
I don't see any more questions, so I think we should be good.
Great game, man. Great game. Great podcast. Great
GG's.
poster.
Jeez.
Great community.
Yeah.
Great
Definitely.
haters.
We got plenty of haters today.
Hey,
Oh,
the
yeah.
hate, but you know what though? I'm gonna tell you that the hate was real, and I'm just proud that they came out here and supported the RFL, man. It gotta be shown. It's gotta be shown that we're doing something right. If they
Exactly.
came here and were vocal and talked, and you know what the truth is that their opinions matter. I know we deleted a lot of comments and everything because we don't want to hear that. But at the same time, their comments are important because it shows that they somewhat care about the game, and I think that that's what's important, So
We're going on that note. Wise words from Coach Roby, guys.
Rope. Yeah.
And with that being said, it's your boy Smitty, RFL Commissioner, play commentator, along with Rob and Bill. And we'll see you guys, I'll say on Sunday, because I don't think we're going to have any podcasts unless something crazy happened that we want to talk about. But we'll see you guys on Sunday for the College Series Bowl. Till then, peace.